Today I'll be drawing Sailor Moon with Ibis Paint X, which is a free app you can get on a mobile device, but you can also do this traditionally on paper too. To draw the head, you just need to draw a circle and then the chin attached to the edges of the head. So now I'm drawing her hair, which is relatively simple. It's just a couple of swoops and her hair comes together in the middle. And then here I'm drawing her buns, which is just circles with gems in them. Next you'll want to draw the hair that's attached to her buns. Cheeks so that I know where it is and where I need to place the eyes. And then you can draw her eyebrows. Here I'm drawing her headpiece, which is just a V with a jewel in it. I wanted to draw one of her eyes winking. So here you just need to draw an upside down U and then draw another upside down U and then draw a U for the eyelid underneath the eye. I did end up redoing the eye a couple times because it didn't quite look how I wanted it to look. So if this happens to you too, it's okay, and just redo it until you think it looks right. Her face, you can go ahead and start drawing her choker and her shoulders. After you finish drawing her shoulders, you want to draw her clothes and her school uniform. She also has a big red bow, so don't forget to draw that. Once you finish the sketch, create a new layer, lower the opacity of the sketch layer, and then start doing line art. It's okay if your line art is shaky at first because as you practice more and more, it gets easier and more smooth. But if you want your line art really to be smooth without practice, you can just turn on a stabilizer, which makes your lines slower so that it's smoother. When you finish the line art, you want to create a layer under the line art and then start filling in her skin tone. And don't forget to fill in any gaps, because usually the fill bucket can't get everything. Once you finish coloring her skin, pick a blue color for her eyes, and they're kind of saturated, so do that. Then create another layer for her hair. It's just blonde, so I used light yellow for it. And don't forget to color in her eyebrows. Here I went back to the line art layer to fix a mistake. I forgot to attach her hair, so I fixed that. Then you want to make another layer and pick a saturated red for her jewels and her bow. Here I turned on Alpha Lock because I thought the color was too orange, so I made it more red, and I personally think it was a better choice. Then you should pick a yellow for her headpiece. And here I'm filling in some spots because the fill bucket didn't get everything. Then pick a navy color for her uniform. After you finish filling in all of your base colors, create a clipping layer above the hair. Make the base hair color darker and more red, and then start shading where the shadows would go. After you finish shading the hair, make the base hair color lighter and more yellow, and then just shade the parts where the highlights go. Then create a clipping layer above the red things, and then make the base red color darker and more pink. Then just start shading where the shadows would go. Then make the red color lighter and more yellow, and then start highlighting. To shade for the uniform, make the blue color darker and more purple. And this part doesn't really require a whole lot of shading, just shade the creases and the cloth. Then make the base blue color lighter and shade some of the highlights, but don't go too crazy with it because it'll distract from the dark blue. Here I'm just shading her headpiece with a light orange color. And then I just made it lighter and added highlights. Then you want to add a dark blue color for shading on the eye. And then I turned on Alpha Lock, shaded it with a really dark part, and then blended it. Then I picked a lighter color for the highlights on the eye. Then create a clipping layer on the skin and start shading the skin with a darker color. For the white parts of this drawing, I picked a dark bluish gray. Then create a layer above everything else and add a white highlight to her eyes. Here I added a clipping layer above the line art to color it. This usually just makes the drawing overall look softer and cleaner. For the background, you need to make a layer below everything. And for this drawing, I picked a yellow because I felt like it went along with the colors of this drawing. To create a white outline, create a layer underneath the line art and then select outline. Then drag it all the way to the bottom. Here I'm signing it so that people can't steal my art, and if they see it, they know where to find me. If you post your art online, I'd recommend that you do this. And here's the final drawing. Thanks for watching.